I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing the ID67 ICE mechanical keyboard. IDOBAO sent me this keyboard as a pre-assembled kit, and inside the box was a bag with accessories and some extra switches. The keyboard itself was wrapped up and placed into some protective foam. As I picked up the keyboard, I noticed right away how heavy this keyboard felt, and after removing the protective bag, I could see how nice the overall design looked with its brass block accent where the USB port was located, as well as the brass weight on the bottom. This is a gasket-mounted keyboard, and the top case is clear and made of acrylic, while the bottom is made of CNC aluminum. The brass weight on the bottom features the IDOBAO logo and has a brushed finish. For switches, this keyboard came with Kailh box white switches, as well as screw-in stabilizers that you can easily swap out if you wish. This keyboard supports third-party stabilizers including cherry and Durock stabs. In the accessories bag, there are smaller bags containing extra hardware such as screws, standoffs, hot swap sockets, and extra gasket strips. There was also a sheet of rubber feet, as well as a white coiled USB-C cable. I went ahead and added the rubber feet to the bottom of my keyboard. While looking at the keyboard's features, I noticed that there wasn't very much stabilizer grease in the stabs, so I grabbed a syringe and a stem holder and added some more to each one. As for the PCB in this keyboard, it uses a V3 version of their 67-key PCB, and it supports both 3 and 5-pin switches. It has hot swap capabilities, and it's south-facing with RGB lighting. For keycaps, IDOBAO also sent me their cherry profile transparent keycaps. These are completely clear with black legends and are made of PBT. As someone who is working on designing keycap sets, I actually really appreciate these legends because most of them have the row and size of the keycap printed on them as a design feature. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell right off the bat if a keycap is 1.75 units wide or similar just by looking at it, so I definitely will be using these as a handy guide to refer to when needed. I also like the little novelty keycaps they provided for some keys, and I know that these will be super RGB friendly once I plug the keyboard in. This keycap set seems to be already included when you purchase this pre-assembled keyboard. As I applied the keycap set to the keyboard, it was pretty straightforward what some of the extra keycaps in the second tray were for, so I didn't have any issues figuring out any of the placement. I also found that these complemented the top case design really well, so now that everything is in place, I want to go ahead and plug it in. As I predicted, the RGB included with this keyboard is really bright, and you can definitely see it through the switches in the keycaps as well as through the top case. You can easily turn it off with the function and Q key if you don't prefer to have RGB, but if you do, there are a good handful of different RGB settings available. You can also adjust brightness and saturation and change the color of single hue light modes to any color of the rainbow. I honestly think this is some of the best RGB I've tried out on a mechanical keyboard, and it's partially due to the crazy amount of light modes that it has, but this combination of keycaps and switches really changed how it's presented, and if you really like RGB, you're gonna love this. The modes all flow nicely and each key is very vibrant. I especially enjoy the more pastel colored ones and love that I can change the saturation for any of the modes. Overall, this is a very well-rounded keyboard, and it's definitely got a lot of nice features and qualities. While it's already pre-assembled, there definitely isn't anything stopping you from going in and fine-tuning everything to your liking, especially since it already contains all the extra hardware needed in case you lose anything. I also really enjoy that it's a pre-built compatible with screw-in stabilizers, as I enjoy those more than clip-in ones, and I can opt to use my own in the future if I want to go in and change anything. I think the case feels incredibly sturdy, and again, since this keyboard is quite heavy, I think it feels very solid. I'm excited to bring this into my collection because I would love to display some of my favorite keycap sets on it, and I'm currently opting for more heavier keyboards these days. As for switches, I know Clicky switches aren't for everyone, but I haven't tried these Kailh box whites before, so I was definitely interested in giving them a go. You can choose 3 other switches on the product page, which are Gatoron Yellow, Kailh box Jades, and Kailh Pro Purples. Again, this keyboard does have a hot swap PCB and supports both 3 and 5-pin switches, so if you aren't into any of those options, you can definitely buy your own set to easily switch out. I find Clicky switches fun to use for gaming, so I'll be using this keyboard for a while when playing things like Splitgate or Fall Guys, but I'm excited to eventually try out some linears on these as well. And as for keycaps, the transparent set included is such a cool set that looks amazing with the RGB backlight. These feel super light and airy to type on, and I'm really excited to have a visual guide displaying keycap sizes and rows that I'll be finding useful in the near future. Again, I'll be sticking with this build for a while, but when I switch to something linear, I can't wait to see what other keycaps complement this case. At the time of filming this video, the ID67 ICE pre-assembled mechanical keyboard is available on the IDOBAO website for $279 USD, and I'll be leaving a link to it in the description below. They also have the ID87 ICE on the same product page for $359 USD, so if you're looking for a larger layout, I definitely recommend checking that one out as well. It has similar features and has a 10 keyless layout. If you like this video and would love to see more like it, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm still working on bringing more keyboard builds in the next few weeks, so stay tuned to see what I've been working on. Thank you to IDOBAO for sponsoring this video, and thank you all for watching!